If you've clicked on this video, chances are you're in dental hygiene school looking for tips and tricks and ways to pass your National Board Dental Hygiene exam. If you don't know who I am, I'm Dennis Walker. I'm a newly registered licensed dental hygienist in Atlanta, Georgia. I took my board exam this year back in May. The month is now August, so I took it very recently, and I feel as though since this video was highly requested in my comment section that I'll knock it out today. And it's gonna be a pretty straightforward video. It's not very detailed. I feel like what I have to say is very straightforward because I feel like everybody's different, everybody learns differently, everybody tests differently. I wrote down some things that I personally did. And before we get into that, I wanna say I took my exam total of 4 times. I passed my exam on the 4th try, okay? I thought the exam was something totally different from what it was. I missed the passing score by 6 points my first time. The second time, another 6 points. The third time, I missed it by 2 points. The 4th time, here we are, I'm now licensed and registered. I feel as though if anybody has some great tips, it would be me because I pretty much took every version of the test probably that's out there. So I wrote down a total of 6 things that I did. So the first thing that I used to study was the Andy RDH book and the Andy RDH app. When I dive into those 2 things and what I did with them. So with the Andy RDH book, I simply sat down. I said, okay, Dennis, what are your weakest and what are your strongest subjects? You have to identify your weak and strong points when it comes to the subjects. Once you've identified your weak and strong subjects, then you can start making your study schedule. So with the Andy RDH book, I picked 1 chapter a week. Whatever subject was my weakest, I started with that. I spent the whole week on that 1 subject, and as I was reading through the book, I took notes as I was reading. I took notes, I highlighted, I reviewed all week. And towards the end of the week, I made flashcards. I made mock tests for myself. I made questions out of the things I didn't understand fully. And towards the end of the week, I would quiz myself. Thursday through Sunday, I would sit here, make tests, quiz myself through flashcards. And if I couldn't recall the answer or the rationale for certain things, I put it to the side. And then on Sundays, that's what I focus on mainly. And everything else, I kept to the side. Now, if there was the week I felt like I'm just not grasping the concept, I'm just not understanding anything, I would then again, for a second consecutive week, repeat that same subject. Listen, guys, you have to be, I'm gonna say this, you have to be honest with yourself when it comes to your weakest subject. You have to, because 9 times out of 10, that would be what will pop up on your exam. Well, in my case, that's what it was. I'm speaking from my experiences. Spend the most time on your weakest subject is all I'm getting at. So let's review Andy RDH book, figure out your weakest and strongest subjects, start with your weakest, and you study for a week straight. So at the end of the week, quiz yourself, make flashcards, mock boards, whatever you gotta do. Just keep it fresh on your mind. Keep integrating it into your daily routine. Once you integrate that into your daily routine for the first 2-3 weeks, it'll come to you naturally. Trust me, it will. Because the first 2-3 weeks was hard for me to stick to my study schedule, but after that 2nd week, halfway through the 3rd week, I was on it like this. If I didn't study, I felt bad. Now, that was the Andy RDH book. Now, let's move on to the other thing I used. The next thing I used was the Andy RDH app. I paid $20 for this app. The app has many mock boards on there. It had rapid fire questions. It had flashcards for each subject. It also had case studies, a lot of case studies. I highly recommend getting this app. I do feel like the Andy RDH app is the reason that I understood case studies. Case studies were one of the weakest points for me because you would read a question and you think you know the answer like that, but in reality, that's not what they're asking you. So please, definitely take the time, spend the $20 and get the Andy RDH app. It's very helpful. I also use this app towards the end of my study week to help me quiz myself, flashcards, mock boards, like all of that pays off. I would not lie to you. I know somebody may ask, well, does it matter if you have an up-to-date Andy RDH book? It doesn't. In my case, I don't feel like it matters. I personally feel as though it may change a few things here and there in the book, but the book is very expensive, and by the grace of God, I knew people who passed their books down to me when they passed, and it's just been kind of a tradition. So the book that I had and studied with, I passed it down to somebody else. The version of the book I had was the Andy RDH 2023 version, and I took my test in 2024. So I don't think there was a big difference in the material. And if there are, you can just Google and cross-reference anything. Definitely Andy RDH book, Andy RDH app. Those were my main sources of studying every week for 3 months straight. So the next thing I used as far as like studying was Quizlet. And I came across this young lady. I'll put her information here and the Quizlet information here if it's still up. I think it is. I found her and she posted a bunch of study guides and quizzes and flashcards. It was organized and written so well that you had no choice but to retain the information. I used the Andy RDH app and the Quizlet back and forth to kind of help me study, but definitely check her out. I hope it's still up. I hope it's still up for you guys, but use her information, find her thing, and just study that, because I feel like she got the meat and potatoes out of the book and just put it on Quizlet, and it made me more confident in taking my test. I promise you, it really did, because the Andy RDH book has a lot of information, a ton. And it gets to the point where you're like, oh my God, do I have to remember all of this? I don't want to say no, but I don't want to say yes either, you know? But I feel as though this young lady who's Quizlet, I'm sharing with you guys, took out the meat and potatoes and she put it right there. And the rest was history for me. So I definitely I've loved using Quizlet, and in conjunction with the Andy RDH app and all the stuff they have on the app. Definitely worked wonders for me. It helped me understand a lot more, because sometimes you can have so much information that is overpowering from what you're actually trying to learn. So definitely did that. Last but not least, I know this is the main thing that you guys probably want to know. How many days a week did you study and for how long? So me personally, I ended up leaving my dental assistant job and I got a warehouse job to focus on my studying, because I found it very, very difficult to study for dental hygiene when I was working as a dental assistant, because when you're in the field that you're studying for and you see it every day, you don't want to come home and study something related to what you already doing all day, every day, at least for me. So I left dental assisting, found another job, and I based my schedule around that job. Now, with that particular job, I studied 7 days a week. I woke up early before I went in, studied 3 hours, went to work. On my lunch break, I used the Andy RDH app to do the quizzes, the case studies. I also used the Quizlet to do the flashcards, all the other stuff. After work, I get home, got my head in the Andy RDH book, one subject at a time, writing notes, recalling the information to myself, shower, getting to bed. I'm in the bed. The TV's pretty much watching me, or I'm in a dark room, just Andy RDH app, Quizlet. Like I'm literally I used to literally fall asleep with the phone in my hand, wake up in the middle of the night, answering questions, rolling over. Like I was addicted to studying at that point. So definitely 7 days a week, base your schedule around what you have going on. Heavy studying was Monday through Friday. Saturday through Sunday, I took it pretty light. I would go for a walk, just clear my head. You don't want to overwhelm yourself with the information. So I still used to study on those days, but they were very, very light study days for me. Those are the things that I did to help me study for my exam and prep for my exam. I used the Andy RDH app. I used the Andy RDH book. I used Quizlet. I made my own study guides. I studied for 7 days a week, Monday through Friday. I heavy study sessions. Saturday through Sunday, I took it kind of light, did some type of activity to kind of woosah myself, kind of decompress, and it definitely paid off for me. Did I study the day before? No, I did not. I know there's another question that you guys would like to know. I did not study the day before my test. I actually just relaxed all day. I did everything but touch that book. I did not open that app. I actually deleted the app off my phone the day before. I did. I was very, very confident. I meditated, I prayed, I had a good breakfast, I got some good, nice rest. I was very excited and also anxious at the same time, but I got it done. So I did not study the night before. I didn't even look over notes. But that's just me, okay? But I really, really wish you guys the best of luck if you guys are taking your exam pretty soon. I know how it feels. I took it 4 times before I actually passed it. I did. I actually did. But the test doesn't define you. It's something that you guys can overcome. Don't let it stress you out. Just relax. And if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I honestly feel like the way that I studied this time really, really helped. It was a lot different from my previous time studying. So I hope this helps you. I hope you take this and make it your own. You don't have to do exactly what I did, but definitely take what I said, make it your own, try it out, add it to your current routine. And I didn't have this on my list, but it just came to my mind. If you have a Facebook page, there's a group on Facebook called Dental Hygiene Students, I believe. Add yourself to that group. There's a lot of us that were in that group. We helped each other out. Everybody had different ways of studying. Everybody had different like whiteboard stuff to write on your whiteboard, tips and tricks. They had to remember things, rhymes, sayings, songs. Like there's so much in that group. That is one positive group. that I wish I had been a part of the very, very first time I took my exam. You have people who are in there that have graduated recently. You have people that are just not getting into school. Everybody motivates each other. And you may read through the status, you may read through the post on that group and be like, wow, I'm not the only one going through this or going through that. So definitely download that, check that out. It's a great place to vent when you're frustrated. It's a great place to celebrate. We celebrate each other. I feel like we laugh, we cry together. We did a lot of things together in a group, man, and I'm still in it to this day because I want to share my experiences. Because as a dental hygienist, you don't stop learning when you graduate school. You don't stop learning after you stop studying for that exam. It continues. I've been a practicing registered dental hygienist for the past month and a half now. I think about a month and a half, you can say. And I learn new things every day. Stuff that you've never learned in school. Stuff that you've never seen or heard of. So in conclusion, I wish you guys the best. Don't stress out. This doesn't define who you are or what you have learned in school. We spent 2 years, 2.5 years doing this, guys. We've got this. Just relax. Be easy. Be calm. Don't beat yourself up. It will happen when it's supposed to happen. What's for you is for you. Nobody can take that from you. If you really, really want this, put your mind to it and do it. Put in the work, because I promise you, when you get to the other side, it's definitely worth it. Peace and blessings to everybody who's going to take their exams. I wish you guys a very, 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 very successful result. And I'm pretty sure everybody that's watching this, you're already 10 steps ahead because you are actually doing the work to research and help yourself study to pass this exam. So once again, my name is Dennis. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I do weekly vlogs about my life as a male registered dental hygienist in Atlanta, Georgia. I share my experiences, things I go through on a daily basis. We talk about mental health, lifestyle, and career over on this channel. So if you guys came here just for this video, check out the other videos, man. You may like it. Thank you guys again. I wish you guys the best of luck, and you got this. You're RDH. You already have it. Just relax and take your exam. You got it. We're a family together, man. We're a family together.